Hey, John Hickok here. Got a GP12 from Standard Manufacturing. There's nothing really standard about this gun, so I'm guessing they meant that ironically, because this is probably one of the more unusual shotguns that the average person can just walk into a shop and buy. It is a pump shotgun double barrel. It's a double barrel pump shotgun. You guys have seen this before in the main video. This is just a chapter 2. Dad asked me to bring it out here since this is actually my gun and take some shots with it. This is one of the guns, like we mentioned in the original video, that they gave us, and I have to say it's pretty cool. And I'm not just saying that because they gave it to us, which you might be right to assume that, but I actually like it. It's a pretty neat gun. Now, I don't use it for home defense, but I like it as an option for that, and I'll kind of talk about that some more as I shoot it. All right, put 2 rounds in there. Let's see, got slugs in there. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot the gong. All right, try something over here. Took care of that. Let's go ahead and choose a paper target. That's not bad. Got a couple more left. Let's try a bowling pin. Alright, got 2 more. Do a 2-liter. Oh man, still got more. This thing shoots forever. Okay, we'll try the red plate. Alright, see exactly where it's going over there. That's my corncob pipe, something I've gotten into recently. It's kind of fun. Always been a cigar guy, but a friend of mine named Zeke, some of you may know him, got me into smoking pipes. It's pretty cool. Okay, so sorry if I was talking like Popeye there at the beginning of the video. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to smoke a pipe while I shot a double barrel pump shotgun. You know, it just seemed like the thing to do at the time. Okay, so this thing holds a bucket of ammo. It's just insane. So we got holds 7 rounds in each tube, and if you of course had it topped off, you had 2 in the chamber. Let's see, quick math, what's that? 14 plus 2, 16 rounds in this shotgun. You pay for it because it's pretty heavy. It's a heavy gun. But that also helps kind of reduce the recoil of it, with it being a bullpup. That's pretty important. So for those of you who have shot the Kel-Tec KSG shotgun, you are very aware of how that thing just beats you to death. And this thing will punch you pretty good, but to me it's a lot more cozy to fire than the KSG. One being that it's heavier, so it's a little bit more solid of a gun. I feel like, I don't know the exact weight comparison, but it definitely feels like a much heavier gun. You guys can probably look that up. One of the big things though, it has this nice rubber pad on it, and it even has a little bit of a spring action there that kind of absorb some of the recoil, which is really nice. And of course I was shooting this Federal, just regular deer slugs, rifled slugs. Of course we appreciate Federal, all the help that they give to us, and all this plethora of various shotgun shells here we're going to shoot in this chapter 2. And of course Bud's Gun Shop, you can go check them out at budsgunshop.com. Go to their website and see what they have. And also, if you haven't joined the NRA yet, we encourage you to please do that and help support gun rights. You can go down into the link in the description of this video and use our link to join the NRA. So please do that if you haven't done that yet. But yeah, basically I'm just going to shoot it a bunch. I'm going to try not to talk too much about it because you guys just want to see it shoot in this video. So alright, let me load it up. Now, there's a few different ways you can load this thing. Some are better than others. So the easiest way to load it is like this, I think. I'm going to put some regular birdshot in it. Hard to load. Get them open here one-handed. Now, I think just the easiest way to do it is like this. Now, of course, when anytime you've got a barrel right against a shooting table, you got to make sure that you've double, triple, and quadruple checked it to make sure it's unloaded. You want to make sure that it's in a safe place, that if it were to fire for some reason, that it's not actually going to hurt anything. You're going to have it at an angle, something like this. Of course, we'll check it again just to make sure. And you can see we got these two big old gigantic empty chambers up there. We got 4 holes basically. You got the 2 up top, the chamber, barrel, and then down here is the magazine. So, and you got to have the action forward on it. You see these bolts come over, so that way it's just a little easier to load that way, I believe. So the way I like to do it, if I'm loading it in this configuration, is I like to put 2 in at a time. It's pretty easy to grab 2 shotgun shells. It's not hard. You grab them like that, and then use both fingers to push them down at once. So it kind of makes it pretty fast, especially once you get the hang of grabbing 2 shells and popping it in there. It's pretty quick to load that way. I don't know if I've ever tried doing that with the KSG, but I think that it's easier to do this with this shotgun versus some of the other ones. But that's one way to load it. So I think I put 3 rounds total in each tube now, 6. Another way to do it is if you're holding it like this, you can just flip it upside down, which is another safer way to do it, honestly. Just flip the gun upside down and then set the shells in there, and either thumb them both in. It's harder to get 2 fingers on it, still not super slow. But then if you want to be super tactical about it, you can top it off kind of like a regular shotgun, but that's where this thing sort of is not as ideal as a standard pump shotgun like a Mossberg 590 or an 870 or something like that, where you can just very easily pop more shells in. It's a little trickier with this one, but very doable. So basically, it's kind of awkward, but this way you can keep your shooting hand on the gun in the right place, and you just reach up back behind there. You got to sort of feel around a little bit, and then you can pop it in. Now, it might be hard for you to tell which magazine you're loading. I can kind of tell because I can feel that divider right there. But the main thing is you just keep filling them until they stop, and then put one in the other end. But I would think, I'm no firearms trainer, but tactically speaking, this gun would have some disadvantages, I think, as far as being able to reload it on the move, in the middle of some kind of situation in a tactical way. It's a little awkward. But then again, you've got twice the capacity of a normal shotgun, so you shouldn't have to reload it. The key word shouldn't, on that. Okay, I don't know if I actually load 7 in each tube or not, but we'll go ahead and shoot it anyways. All right. And then this is how you release the slide right here. You got to kind of push down on it. Sometimes it can be a little finicky. It's kind of gotten more broken in now, but if you're pulling back on the pump, because you've got this vertical grip here, if you're pulling back on it, it won't go down. Well, it just did there, but it'll tend to not want to go down. So you want to make sure you're kind of pushing forward on it to release the slide. Push down, and then see your shells up under there. You can see that, and then we're ready to go. And of course, safety over here. With a pump shotgun, I tend to not use the safety very much. It's like if I've got live rounds in there, I'm going to shoot them probably. Okay. Let's just shoot some of the steel targets. Like, let's try the cowboy. Let's see what kind of spread we get. I'll do 1 barrel on the cowboy and 1 on the tombstone. Okay, not bad. That's another thing about this gun you have to be aware of is, I'm used to a regular pump shotgun, and you tend to, boom, fire it once, and then you want to pump it again, but you can't do that. It won't even let you. You got to fire both rounds. But then again, it's a little bit of one of the advantages. If you short shuck a shotgun, which is when you don't bring it all the way back and all the way forward, and you don't pick up a round, something that can happen with a pump shotgun, at least you've got 2 shots before that happens to you with this gun versus 1. But I don't know if that's a huge advantage or not. Okay, try again. I'm gonna try shooting both cowboys, get in a position here where I can do it. 1 barrel on each. Okay, I got live rounds in. So even then I wanted to pump it in between. So not too bad. It's kind of nice having 2 shots every time you rack one in there. Of course, you got these big old mean looking, I guess they're muzzle brakes. You know, I don't know how much they do in recoil reduction. I know kind of the idea of those. You can jam that into a door frame and fire off a round and it won't blow up the gun, ideally, at least. I don't know if I'd be willing to try it unless I absolutely had to. Okay, since I'm not being shot at or anything, I'm just going to load it like this because it's easier. Open these boxes one-handed here. Okay. These are 3-inchers, so it may not hold 7. 3-inch. Oh, and these things are going to be punishment. Like I said, it doesn't kick as bad as other bullpup shotguns that I fired. But it, you know, it definitely packs a punch. I mean, it's a shotgun after all. And I feel like you don't take as much advantage of the weight of it with it being a bullpup, but I don't know. That could be not true and made up. I know that it has a nice balance to it for the weight. Okay, let's try a 2-liter with this. Okay, I guess I hit the post and it just knocked the other one off. That was interesting. All right, we'll try again. Gotta try these pots over here. Oh, that hurts. Let's go ahead and hit the watermelon with one of these. These things are hot. All right. Another thing that I just demonstrated by accident there was I loaded an uneven number into the magazine. So what happens there is you get a bang and a click, or a click and a bang, depending on which magazine you load it into. So those were pretty hot. Those are rough, as you could probably tell. And my shoulder's already kind of sore because we had a different sight on there originally before the video, and we were trying to sight it in. And something about this rail on top, another thing to be aware of if you get one of these, and if you're going to put some kind of optic on it, you wouldn't really need to. We were just going to, just kind of for fun, really. But this rail is kind of flimsy. And we found with that scope, it was just, I don't know, it just didn't lock on there very tightly, the mount that I was using. And we had shots going all over the place, and finally realized that that scope was loose, and it was actually moving the point of aim inconsistently. So I just went back with these iron sights and kind of sighted them in. But it took about 25 slugs to the shoulder before we figured it out. So, all right, let's put some of this birdshot in there. Some of these very classy looking white shotgun shells. I don't know, almost too classy for this, I feel like. All right, do my trick again, put 2 in, pop it down. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, this is something that I think would be a viable option for home defense because it seems very well made and It's a very solid gun. It seems to be reliable. It's a pump shotgun. You know, pump shotguns tend to be pretty reliable. And then there's something cool about having so much ammo at your disposal, and then having those 2 shots every time. You know, every time you rack a new one in. So it's sort of like the best of both worlds, of a double barrel shotgun and a pump shotgun, in a sense. But I don't personally use it for home defense, and I think probably a lot of people wouldn't. And part of the reason is, as cool as this gun is, and as much potential as maybe it has, it's still it feels very alien, I think, to most of us, because it's not a standard pump shotgun. And you would have to, for me to really trust this as a defensive gun in a home defense situation or whatever else I would be doing that I wouldn't be doing probably, I would have to only shoot this shotgun. Because going back and forth, it would kind of mess with your head. In a tense situation, you might forget, fire a shot, and be like, oh, why isn't it working? You know, and so I think that's a thing that would keep a lot of people from actually using it for defense. But that's not to say that, you know, this style of shotgun, or this one in particular, caught on, that it would be great for that. But I think that's its biggest limiting factor, is just the fact that it's so weird. And I know for me, if I'm going to use a gun for defense, I want something that's very familiar, that I have a lot of experience with and had a lot of time with. But that's just my 2 cents. Okay. What else can we tear up? Well, these are going to feel like 22s after shooting those other ones. Shoot that bucket. Yeah, these feel like nothing. Okay. And see, like I said, I've even been shooting this thing a fair amount today, and still every now and then I'll fire a shot and I go to try to pump one in and realize, oh yeah, I have another shot. So that would take some getting used to if you were going to really rely on one of these things. But it's pretty fun though. That's the thing. I mean, I feel like that's what it kind of boils down to for most guns, is you've got to, you know, if you have a certain need for a gun, whether it's hunting or self-defense or something like that, you know, you've really got to be very picky about what you're looking for and what you need it for. And then you find those guns that fit in that niche, and you really kind of want to stick with something that you feel comfortable with and get really good with it. But, you know, I feel like most things are cool just to have fun with, you know, bring out to the range and play around with. Let's see. A few more of these guys in there. And then I'll finish up with some of the hot stuff. Give my shoulder a break for a second. That's something that I hate to see in the shooting community, culture, whatever you want to call it, is people being shamed for just having fun with guns, you know? I think it's important to have some balance when it comes to shooting. Or at least if you have no interest in shooting for fun and it's only about defense for you, like, you know, don't try to make people feel bad about only just wanting to shoot guns for fun, because ultimately those are the people that are going to keep our, you know, our Second Amendment rights alive. Because that's how most shooters are. They just want to have fun, have a few guns for defense, but mostly just shoot around for fun. Okay, there's a bunch of spray paint cans down there that have either done their duty well or failed us at some point. And based on how they explode, will tell us which one they are. Alright, those apparently were good ones. They were empty. Alright, that was a bad one. Okay. See another 2-liter down there. Alright. Okay, let's finish up with just a few slugs here. A few more of these things in. But shotguns are just a lot of fun. in general, and especially if you're shooting, you know, like birdshot and things like this. There's a lot more, you know, a lot more places that you can get away with shooting a shotgun too. You don't have to have as much of, you know, long distance or quite the backstop. You know, of course, you have to have for shooting rifles and handguns. It'd be kind of fun to take one of these to go shoot some clay target somewhere. Shoot a little skeet, you know, with it. Scare off everybody with their Brownings and Beretta over and unders. Be worth it to see all the weird looks you get down at your local snobbish skeet range. not that they're all snobbish. I just think that, you know, some people have that idea. Okay. I'm gonna knock down that big ram back there on the top. I'm gonna try to at least. Okay, I think they're going a little high. I'm gonna hold kind of on his belly. Got him. All right, that felt good. Take care of what's left of that pot right there. Yep. All right, let's try this one. There's a bowling pin that needs to be knocked off. Alright, that's it. Alright, well there you go. The DP12. A really neat gun. Again, kind of how I feel about this gun is it's great. Just burnt the hell out of myself right there. You gotta watch that because it's all covered in plastic, but you've got these exposed barrels that get pretty hot. It's a neat gun, and I feel like it does a really good job at doing what you expect it to do and it's advertised to do. But I don't think it necessarily comes in and makes your 870 or 590 obsolete, just because it's a little awkward to reload in a kind of a tactical sort of way. Use that term lightly, and it's just so unusual. It's so different from a shotgun. I feel like it would mess you up if you're going back and forth. Like I said, you have to stick with only this if you're going to try to make this a viable defense option, I think. But you know, that's not to necessarily totally rule it out. I just think for now it's just kind of a cool fun gun for the range and something you could technically use for home defense if you want to. It would do the job. You just want to be very familiar with it and have some time with it and practice with it and everything. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed getting to see this thing blast up some stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I'm sure if you didn't, we'll be hearing from you. But while you're here, I want to make sure you guys are aware of SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute. They are a fully accredited online distance learning program where you can get certified in gunsmithing with hands-on experience and also an associate's degree in firearms technology. And they are very accepting of GI Bill too. They work a lot with veterans. So go over to sdi.edu and check them out, see if that's something that you're interested in. And also, while you're going out on the interwebs and looking at things like that, don't forget the Hickok 45 Facebook if you're a Facebook kind of guy. Check that out, Hickok 45 Facebook. Also, the real Hickok 45 on Instagram and Hickok 45 on Twitter. Don't forget to check that out. And also, we have a website now, hickok45.com. Try to keep it simple for you guys, and especially those of you in Kentucky, www.hickok45.com. You can go over there and find out about all kinds of different things that we're doing. We've got links to the people that support our channel. We've got links to our store. We have merchandise, t-shirts and hats and different things over there if you want to check that out. So go to hickok45.com. Most of everything is over there. Also, if you want to see some other content that you can't find on this specific channel, you can go to the Hickok 45 and Son YouTube channel, where that's mostly me doing stuff over there, and Dad makes an occasional appearance over there. And also, I have a Facebook, John Hickok on Facebook. You can also find the link to that in the description of the Hickok 45 and Son videos. And speaking of that, don't forget to check out the description of the Hickok 45 videos for any information about meet and greets and all that kind of stuff. Also, don't forget to check us out on Full 30. And if you've done all of that, all of those things, if you've completed all of that, then the only thing left to do is to watch a bunch more Hickok 45 videos. So I'll leave you to it, and I'm going to finish painting these targets.